Lorenzo again. Today I'm going to do an unboxing and review of the brand new Tomb Raider figure, just in time for the movie release. Now I ordered this thing off of eBay. I had been keeping my eye on it for a few months because it was available first as a pre-order, and I'm very cautious about doing pre-orders on eBay because some of these companies will put out pre-orders like sometimes it seems almost a year before the figure is even available, and I'm just kind of like sitting patiently and trying to wait for this thing. And I tend to sometimes forget that I've made payments for these pre-orders. So I worry that even if they don't deliver the figure, I'll forget that I ordered it anyway. And anyway, so now I just wait for the figure to be in hand, and then I make it a purchase in that respect. So there were two versions of this figure available. One had just the pants, and then the second version, the more expensive version, had the shorts as an additional option, and then also has an LED base for the figure. I got the deluxe version, so that's the one I'll show you. But I wanted to show you the shipper box first of all. So this is how I got it. Now, so see that dent there, and it's open there. Just poor packing, and it's bad cardboard as well. It's a thin cardboard, so I mean, come on, they could have done a better job, seeing as it was going halfway around the world. This came out of China, or as our president likes to say it, China. So let's get this thing open, and we'll discover together whether or not there's damage to the actual figure box. Okay, so this is the base. And here is the other box. So it looks like, just like with Hot Toys, these guys decided to do an additional box as well, I guess to protect the figure box. So this is from POPTOYS, and they have some pretty good figures out already, most of them from movies. Alright, so there is no disturbance to the integrity of the actual figure box, so that's good news, good to know. Alright, let's take a closer look and see what we got inside. All right, so I had a custom Tomb Raider figure a while ago, and when I had ordered this one, that same day I actually put my custom one on eBay and sold that and used the proceeds to go towards the cost of this one. And I thought I did a pretty good job with it, but obviously a manufactured one is a little bit more desirable, and this is the base, it looks like, for this. Looks like, yeah, this comes off so that you can establish this as a base. However, I don't like it. And why don't I like it? Even though the concept is awesome, and I hope a lot of figure makers start doing this by using the cover as a background, and the fact that this has a floorboard, that's an additional bonus. But the problem is, it doesn't look like something from Tomb Raider. It actually, I think what I'll do is I'll use this as a background for my Celine Underworld figure. I think it's a little bit more appropriate for that. It seems very dark and dreary, Dracula-like, but for Tomb Raider, I don't think so. Here's the figure itself. Right off the bat, I've got to say, I think the head is, let's see. Okay, they just had it pressed down all the way. It looked like the head was a little too far down. She seemed like she had a tiny neck. So that looks pretty good. As far as the head sculpt goes, I think it's a beautiful sculpt, but I am not sure about the likeness. I'm not getting enough Angelina Jolie coming through. And I like how they have the stitched hair with the ponytail. It's a fine stitch. The weave on that is very nice. They did a good job there. But the head sculpt is just not up to par, and I've been keeping an eye on one that's available online. So I'll probably end up doing that and replacing it and putting this head sculpt on eBay. As far as the arms go, it doesn't quite match, and this is not like bright light, but even under this light, I'm seeing that the body doesn't quite match the head sculpt skin tone. So maybe once I get the new head, that'll also correct itself, or it could be worse. We'll see. The shoes are not plastic sculpt. They're actually stitched. The straps are stitched on. The laces are in there. That's all real laces. The thighs, I think, are kind of thick. I don't know. It seems to me they could have had her legs a little bit skinnier, but maybe it'll look better with the shorts on. We've also got, looks like, 3 additional hands. A holster, handgun holster. This I'm sure was from the movie. I haven't seen the movies in ages, so this is probably like some kind of virus or something. Another holster, second holster, leg holster. Belt with her trademark skull and crossbones on the buckle. Backpack. Looks like a rack with some mags and scopes. Two handguns. Let's see, the slides. The slides do move forward. There's detail of the bullet in there. Okay. Looks like this comes off. And the mag does come out. So there's 2 of those. Looks like an extra protection over here. Alright, so that's her bracelet watch. Pretty good detailing on that. Here we have the additional legs for the shorts option. I'll definitely be using those. They do bend, so that's good. And we've got the base. Now initially when I saw the photographs of the figure on the eBay listing, oh, I can't get that in there. I'll do that later. Initially, when I saw the photos of the eBay listing, they had the name blurred out, and I think because there was a licensing issue with that, the use of the Lara Croft name. But as you see here, and I'm relieved to find out, the final product does have that name on there. Alright, so as you can see, I've gotten the pants off, I put the shorts on. I was worried in doing so that I'd have to unbuckle and unlace the boots, but luckily I just gave them a good yank and they came right off, and the attachments are inside as well. So it's just a matter of securing it back in there. The replacement legs are a little bit thinner than the ones that were standard with the ones wearing the pants, which I'm happy about because these were a little too thick. So it looks a lot nicer. But as you can see, I'm having trouble with the straps for the thigh holsters. They were initially, it looked like glued together. I thought they were Velcro, so I gave them a good yank, and it looks like they're intended to be Velcro, but they're not staying secure. So I'll probably end up having to use some white glue to reattach those together. But the figure looks great. The holsters are very snug. They go in there pretty nicely, the weapons. This belt is not staying closed though. Yeah, so the magazines come off, and I think these are scopes, these two things, or maybe they're like grenades. I don't remember from the film, but they are removable, and I'd be careful with these falling off as you're storing the vehicle or moving it around. The backpack's pretty nice, good detail on that. It hides the connection between the arm and the main body, so that's pretty good. Overall, I'd say pretty nice figure. So there were some complaints that I saw on other videos of about the shirt. People were complaining that it was poor quality, wasn't stitched nicely. I think the shirt, maybe they corrected it over the next manufacturing series, but it looks pretty nice. Overall, I'd say pretty nice figure. As I said though, I am gonna get a different head sculpt just because I even though it's a pretty face, it's not an Angelina Jolie face, so I'm gonna have to probably pay about $35, $40 for a new head. I'll probably get it off eBay. A couple more things I wanted to point out. This is the base that comes with the deluxe version. I gotta tell you, I don't like it. I will say that I'm impressed that it comes with the two batteries, the cell batteries, but I just don't see the point of it. I don't remember this part from the movie, so maybe that's contributing to my criticism of it, but it comes with this arm that it seems from the photos that it's supposed to go in this slot in the back. However, it looks like it needs to be glued on because it definitely is loose and doesn't stay in there. Also, the illustrations, the photos, simply show her just kind of like leaning on it. And there's really nothing to hold her on it. I suppose you could pose her on top of it, but the thing just doesn't make sense to me. And I'll probably end up putting this on eBay and selling it by itself because I'm just not impressed with it. Also, wanted to point out that the deluxe version comes with this amulet or idol, whatever you would call it, and it is made out of metal, so that's pretty nice, good quality. And the socks and shorts. The shorts are already on the figure, but it comes with these socks to go underneath the boots, have the socks peeking out a little bit on the leg. Just a few side notes here at the end. First, this is the Lara Croft Tomb Raider figure that I had gotten a while back. It was put out by Playmates. One thing I didn't like about it right off the bat was that it has no posability. Also, the detailing wasn't that good, but for back then, it was decent. What I eventually did is I took off the head, and I kept the head and put the clothes and the head on a posable body. Here's another figure that came out a while back. Back in the day, it was decent. It had all of the right things going for it, but there was just a few hit and misses. The boots weren't that nice. The holsters were cheap. The body shape wasn't nice. It didn't have a seamless body, and the head obviously didn't look much like Lara Croft. All right, so I was curious about that base that came with the figure because it was just puzzling me what the whole thing was about. So I did go back and look at some of the footage from the beginning of the film, and I did see the robot, so it makes a little bit more sense to me now. So I guess what you could do with that base is pose the figure like how it's pictured in the photo, in the still here. But if you're putting it in a detolf, that's going to add quite a bit of height. You're not going to be able to manage that. If you have it on as a standalone on a shelf, yeah, I guess you could do it. I still don't like it, and I'm still getting rid of it. It just doesn't look good to me. Now, what does look good is this base by POPTOYS,
It came out a while back. I think it's discontinued at this point, but you could still find it floating around on a few independent retailer websites. I haven't seen it on eBay in a while, though. And I think this is a perfect match for the Lara Croft figure, especially considering the idol that came with the deluxe version. It's sort of similar in design to the background there. Perfect match. And this came out several years ago. Side notes on continuity. In looking at that footage and taking a few stills, she does have some mags on her side. So you might want to take those mags that come with the figure, and instead of using that attachment with the backpack, because she doesn't have the backpack at the beginning of the film either, you could tape or glue those mags onto the side of her holsters there, like in the picture. Also, she was wearing a full t-shirt in that scene. She was not wearing the sleeveless tee as it comes with the figure. So if you want to be truly movie accurate, you can go buy a separate t-shirt for, I guess it would be like $3 to $5, and put that on the figure instead. Let's go over the head options here. So this is the head that comes with the figure. As I said earlier, it's pretty decent. You kind of get a hint of Angelina Jolie, but not much. It could pass for a Lara Croft figure, but if you want to have it look like Angelina Jolie from the film, then this just doesn't cut it. So we're going to start with the worst heads that I've seen and work our way up. All of these I got from eBay that are currently for sale on eBay. This one right here is passing off as a Tomb Raider and Angelina Jolie head. If you do a search under both those terms, this comes up. It doesn't look like anything really. It's hardly even attractive. It's the worst one I've seen yet, and it's by Kumik. Here's another one I saw on eBay. You could tell it's Angelina Jolie this time, but the problem is it looks like too much collagen implants or something. It looks too plastic surgery. It doesn't look realistic. It looks almost cartoon-like. It's just not quite there yet. All right, we're starting to get better here as far as realism goes, but this one again comes short. It doesn't really look like Angelina Jolie, or if it does, like a meth-addicted homeless version of Angelina Jolie without makeup. It's despicable. Definitely no-go. All right, we're getting better now. Although this version, besides the fact that it doesn't have the ponytail look, and that would have to be customized afterwards, the makeup is a little too heavy, and even though it has a hint to Angelina Jolie, it also looks like a fusion of Angelina Jolie and maybe Katie Holmes. It's not quite there yet. Which brings us to this one. And this is the one I have ordered. I think I paid $35, $40 for it, and it's coming from China. Assuming it matches up in person, because sometimes they detail the heads in photos, but then what you get is something completely different. And I've chewed a few of those guys up for that, and luckily they're pretty good about offering refunds. But if the real product holds true to the photo here, then this takes the cake. And after I get it, I will pull back the hair, paint it darker, cut it short, and probably take the ponytail from the old head and glue it onto the back of this new head. And I think I'll be happy with the figure as complete at that point. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.